Hello. My inspiration for this video is that yesterday I watched a 2-hour and 8-minute long YouTube video that was Ken Ham movie review Noah the movie, and followed that up with a 13-minute David Pakman interview with Ray Comfort about the same subject, about the movie Noah. What I'm going to talk about here, I could break it into a few different chapters, but one would be too short to be its own little thing. Ken Ham is spot on with the science, but I wouldn't recommend you go to him for theology. And here's what's wrong with Ken Ham's theology, specifically as it relates to the issue of Genesis, the creation, the extremely early periods of the earth, the flood, Adam and Eve, and let's see. Here, well, Ken Ham's theology on those things. According to Ken Ham's theology, God got tricked or beat by the devil, because Ken Ham talks about the point of the earth was to create this perfect place and have people live on it, and whereas really God planned on this earth eventually becoming what we have, and planned on people being mortal. And Ken Ham talks like there would be more than 2 people on the earth if Adam and Eve had not taken of the fruit. But Adam and Eve did not have any kids until after they took the fruit. So if Adam and Eve had not taken of the fruit in the Garden of Eden, they would have not had kids, and we wouldn't be here. But Ken Ham, I think I've heard him talk like we would be here without Adam and Eve taking the fruit. And one reason for us to be confident that God had planned on setting up this system where we could be allowed to sin, where we'd have mortal bodies, is best described in Peter here. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 20. I'll read 19 too. But the precious blood of Christ, as a lamb without blemish and without spot, who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you. Foreordained from before the foundation. So before the world was made, God already planned on having a Savior. That means God already planned on a situation where we would be allowed to sin, and allowed to choose for ourselves. Alright, the Noah movie, I haven't gone out to see it, but I can still comment on what I know about it and reasons why I refuse to go see the movie. And if somebody gave me the disc, I might not even waste time watching it. Well, if somebody already spent the money on the disc and bought it, maybe I would try to satisfy a morbid curiosity. But the Noah movie, the one that stars Russell Crowe as Noah, had to throw that in case somebody was going to confuse this with a different Noah movie. The whole point of the flood in that movie was to kill off every single person, leave no people left, and have the earth have animals and no people. That's a big difference from what the Bible is. God had Noah bring his family on the earth so there would be people after the flood. And Noah got very clear directions from God about what to do. In the movie, he has a strange dream, and it's hinted at, but it's not clear. And in the movie, as far as I could tell, it looks like if I say as far as I can tell, it looks like, nobody could sue me for giving bad information now. It looks like the sin that that Noah, that the world's getting destroyed for is not being environmentalist wackos, or is for picking flowers and living life and using trees and using minerals and things like that. But that's not the sin that people were doing that was so bad that God had to destroy everyone. I'm sure what the sins were that made God need to destroy the earth were some combination of rampant unchastity. And I say unchastity, I mean any combination of sexual partners that is not husband and wife. A society that encourages masturbation, encourages fornication, encourages homosexual actions, encourages bestiality. Murder, or killing people, stealing, lying, murder, stealing, lying, killing the prophets, killing the saints, killing people who believed in Jesus Christ and had faith in Jesus Christ. Those are the things that are the reason that God had to destroy everybody except a family that would repopulate the earth with people. I'm extremely disturbed by the Darren Aronofsky. Is he the director or the producer? One of those guys. He was quoted as saying this is going to be the most unbiblical Bible movie ever, or something like that. And I don't want to watch an unbiblical Bible movie. And I'm not extremely nitpicky where I won't watch a movie if it doesn't agree with me exactly. I went to the movie theaters to watch The Passion of the Christ. There was a definite Catholic twist, feel to that movie, but I still think overall it was a good movie. I did go see it, and I would recommend other people to watch it, even though doesn't do every little thing the way I would have. Yeah, some people talk about artistic license. Some of the commercials for Noah the movie said artistic license has been used. They threw that in there, I guess, so people couldn't sue them for false advertising when they could go to court and say, we told them we used artistic license, so they can't sue for false advertising. Hey, maybe they did cover themselves legally, but still, morally, ethically, artistic license is not changing parts of the story that are already there. The Bible's not a movie script, so you can make Bible movies with tons of artistic license. I mean, examples of things that could be done as artistic license with the subject of the Great Flood and Noah would be, we don't know what Adam and Eve and Noah, all of them looked like. So any actor that you pick, hey, that's artistic license. What clothes you put on, that's artistic license. We don't know Noah's wife's name, artistic license. Maybe Noah was a polygamist, that would be artistic license. A permissible, completely ethical, moral, artistic license. We don't know if Noah was a remarried widower. If you make him that, that would be artistic license. The Bible tells us what his sons' names were, but doesn't tell us their exact age. So I'm not gonna nitpick over, well, this movie had the sons being, X years old. That's not what I think of it. I'm not gonna go see a movie because of that. No, that's an example of reasonable artistic license. The Bible just says Noah was a preacher of righteousness. It doesn't have a lot of the words of his preaching. So artistic license, permissible artistic license would be have him go out and preach, write whatever, write what he was preaching, and I'm not going to be able to, you can have some, well, I guess that could be taken too far, because I'm sure picking a flower and eating meat, if people were doing that before the flood, was not the reason God wiped everything out. It's another example of artistic license. Another thing we could use for artistic license is the Bible does not tell us how Noah came up with the money to build the ship. Did he need money? Were there just so few people on the earth at that time that it was easy to, that resources were inexpensive? Was it easy back then to find time to just build an enormous boat? Maybe. That's a permissible artistic license. David Packman said that he doesn't think that the Noah story of the Bible is true. Apparently he's an atheist. Or maybe he's a Muslim, because Muslims, they pay lip service to the Bible, but really, they don't believe a lot of what's in there. They believe, the way my Muslim coworkers explain it to me is they would love to have the Injil, but they don't believe we actually have the Injil, and they would love to have the Torah, but they don't believe we really have the Torah, that people have changed things so much that there's like almost nothing left that's worth looking at in those books. So somebody could denounce the Noah story as made up and be a Muslim, I guess. But I strongly disagree, and not with whether Noah was fictional or not, but David Packman, I'm sorry, I didn't finish the quote. I got on a little sidetrack there. I got sidetracked. David Packman said, since the Noah movie is about a subject that's a story that was already never happened and completely made up and not based on anything that really happened, he sees nothing wrong with the movie not following the story that we have in the Bible. I strongly disagree with that. If there is already a story that exists and you are making a movie, it is morally and ethically wrong to make changes to the story. At least to key fundamental parts of the story. The character of the people. Noah was not somebody who wanted to kill people. Noah didn't want to kill his own grandkids. And God didn't want Noah to kill his own grandkids. Those are important parts of the character of those characters. So it's wrong to make a movie named after a story and change important big things, important fundamental plot points, happenings, the characters. If you want to make a flood movie about a guy who does not think like Noah did, a God who is making a flood for different reasons than the God of the Bible did, that's fine. Make a flood movie and don't call it Noah. A Noah with Ham, Japheth, and Shem as sons. Just make a flood movie. I might even be interested in going to watch that. This would be interesting to see a flood movie. See how good the computer-generated graphics are in this flood movie. And I've got some, examples I thought of to illustrate that point. What if somebody made a Harry Potter movie? They named it Harry Potter. Ignore, for this section of my video, the potential copyrights, trademark violations and lawsuits that would get in the way of this. Birds, I'm talking. Time out. The birds. There we go. Maybe the birds are covered up enough now so that you won't have to fight, your ears won't have to fight through their chirps to hear me. So, would it be morally and ethically permissible to make a Harry Potter movie where Harry Potter joins Lord Voldemort, Or is the Dark Lord? If there was a Harry Potter movie where there was no Tom Riddle or Lord Voldemort, and Harry was the Dark Lord, would that be okay? Or what if Harry never meets Hagrid and never goes to Hogwarts? Would it be alright to make a Harry Potter movie like that? Or what if Harry Potter just knows everything about magic and how to do everything without going to any schools? Would it be alright to name a movie a Harry Potter movie when you change that many important, basic, fundamental parts of the story? Or what if there was a Twilight movie where there were no vampires in the world at all? Not where people didn't think there were vampires, but they were in hiding, but there were no vampires. Would that be okay? Or would there be something wrong with that? Or what if there was a Twilight movie where the Cullens ate people? Or the morphing Indians start out the movie liking the vampires? What if the Indians, the Jacob's tribe? What if Jacob's tribe, for hundreds or thousands of years, had been best buddies with the vampires? Could I make a movie like that, call it the Twilight movie, and it'd be alright? What if I made a Hunger Games movie? I haven't seen the Hunger Games movies because I bet they changed too many things from the book that did not need to be changed. But anyway, I don't need to have seen the Hunger Games movies, which I bet were atrocities and not following the book, to be able to bring up this metaphor, potential hypothetical scenario to illustrate my point. What if I made a Hunger Games movie where Katniss kills everybody in her first Hunger Games? Because in the book, at least, maybe it's not what happened in the movie, but in the book, in the first Hunger Games, she killed almost nobody. Maybe it was nobody. And the last guy was eaten by the wolves. Those funky, instantly created dogs. One little girl, she saw a lot of other people get killed. One really stealthy contestant accidentally poisoned herself to death. Yeah, so maybe Katniss didn't kill anybody. So what if I made a Hunger Games movie where Katniss is killing everybody? She doesn't watch somebody poison himself with berries. She doesn't watch somebody else get killed by somebody else, but she kills everybody else. Would that be okay? Or would there be something wrong with changing that big part of the story? Or what if there was a Hunger Games where there were teams of thousands, enormous armies fighting? Would that be okay, or would that be too big of a change with some kind of integrity called a Hunger Games movie? What if they were paintballing instead of fighting to the death? Would it still be alright to call it the Hunger Games if they didn't have to kill each other? What if Gale went to the Hunger Games instead of PETA? Could I still call it the Hunger Games? I'm not talking about legally, but morally and ethically, or would that be too big of a change? I think it would be. All those scenarios I thought of, I gave you an example of changing a fundamental, important, big part of the story that was in the books. And if it would have been wrong to make the Harry Potter movie, or the Twilight movie, or the Hunger Games movie that I just talked about, it's equally wrong. I think it is. I hope you do. It's equally morally and ethically wrong to make a Noah movie that makes such big changes about what's in the Bible, about what's in those chapters of the Bible that the Noah movie is covered. covering. Thank you for watching this. Have a good day.